Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Rising. Saagar, what are we up to today?
We have an amazing show for everybody today. We have Chuck Rocha from the Bernie Sanders campaign. He's going to be previewing Bernie Sanders' new immigration plan. We have Krystal's piece from On the Ground. She was back in Kentucky on Mitch McConnell. That's a really interesting one. And we've got a new poll that's come out basically showing a virtual three-way tie in the national Democratic race, plus some interesting, very interesting new polling on the ground in Iowa. But before we get to that, we have an interesting quasi-announcement. All the major papers have been leaked to and been told Jeff Sessions is going to be running for Senate in Alabama.
Yeah, against Doug Jones. That'll be a tough one for Democrats. Is Alabama, so that's a rough one. And I think his first interview is going to be with Tucker tonight.
Yeah, he's going to be on Tucker tonight. He's going to be making his announcement. I mean, it's a fascinating thing. I mean, Jeff, he was Trump politics before Trump.
Did he take any hit with his base in Alabama from the schism with Trump?
I don't know. We're gonna have to find out.
Yeah.
I mean, that really is the interesting question. I mean, the real good thing is that, for God's sake, just do anybody but Roy Moore. So because apparently the judge didn't learn his lesson the first time and still wants to run and redeem himself or whatever.
And had a shot at winning the primary based on the polling.
And so, I mean, Jeff Sessions is a singularly popular figure in Alabama. Now, people do have loyalty to Trump as well. The question is whether, I don't know. I really don't know whether it will cost him, but I do think he could easily beat Doug Jones. I mean, I don't think Doug Jones has solidified his candidacy there.
I think the only way that Doug Jones wins is if he's up against Roy Moore again. I mean, he barely was able to eke it out even when it was against Roy Moore. I mean, it's obviously a brutally hard state for Democrats down there in Alabama. At the same time, we have an update on the story that you were talking about yesterday regarding ABC and Jeffrey Epstein. There was that hot mic. We played it for you here yesterday with anchor Amy Robach expressing deep frustration that the story she had reported out with witnesses and details to back it up about Epstein 3 years before that story really broke and the national media had been quashed by ABC. Well, they've gone after the leaker. It looks like they've found the leaker now working at CBS. And to me, it's just so telling that they're more concerned with finding who exposed this than with dealing with the fact that they quashed the story.
Yeah, exactly. They want to punish the leaker. They're going out of their ways and they're leaking all of the details about how they're going after this leaker. However, according to the same journalist who broke the story, Yashar Ali, what they're also doing is they're sweeping it completely under the rug.
Right.
ABC has no plans to address the story on the air. They have no plans to release an independent judgment or frankly address it beyond where it currently is. And the greatest failure has been other media outlets, CNN and NBC and all these other places who usually have very good media reporting operations, right? Like they know Megyn Kelly's contract negotiations were being leaked by the minute. On this, nothing. They don't want to touch it because they all have similar stuff in their own vaults.
Right.
And they're like, whoa, we can't be like we're not going after this.
You're right. I mean, the anchors are either, they know what stories of theirs have been buried, or they live in terror of what may be in the vault that they don't even know about. Yeah. And so yet another example of how the media protects the powerful.
It's just unbelievable. A circle of silence in which they're getting away with it. That's the bad part. Like, nobody is facing any repercussions. The people who quashed Weinstein still run NBC News. The people who are quashing ABC, we don't even know who their names are. We don't even have a Ronan Farrow to tell us exactly what's going on the inside.
Right.
In 2 weeks from now, everybody in the media just wants to forget that this ever happened.
And you wonder why this person leaked this to such a sketchy outlet as Project Veritas. It's because they were fearful that a mainstream outlet would just bury it and never report on it.
If you gave that to CNN, I don't think it would ever see the light of day.
Yeah,
they'd be like,
that's the problem.
Who's Amy Robach? That nobody's ever heard of her.
Yeah, it just doesn't meet our editorial standards. That's the go-to excuse apparently, and it's a bunch of BS. All right, we're going to tell you what's on our radars next.